Hello everyone, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for tuning in for what's going to be a review of some kind of strange products. I caught this set on Ipsy probably a month and a half ago at this point. I've been sitting on these for a while just because it's taken me so long to try new products with Halloween and the holiday sets coming out, so it's taken me a while, but I finally formed some thoughts on these odd products. One is an AquaReveal water-based exfoliant. It's called Smooth Talker Water Peel for Lips and the brand is called AquaReveal. This was paired with two powder lipsticks from the brand called Clay? Not really sure, but they're called melting lip powders and they're long-lasting matte lip and cheek tints. They can also be used on your eye according to the box they came in. So I'm going to talk about all three of these items today just because they kind of came in a set and they are also meant to work together, the exfoliant before you apply your lip products. So let's go ahead and dive in. So actually before I even start talking about all these, I do want to point out the price. I didn't realize how good a deal the set was until looking at the price of all these products individually. AquaReveal is kind of a prestige brand after looking more into it. This guy retails for $26 alone, and then each of these melting lip powders go for $19 a piece. I don't think I paid more than $25 or $30 for this set, so just a heads up, although I don't recommend all these, you'll find out which ones in a little bit. But also just a good reminder to keep your eye on monthly Ipsy deals. Not only do they have discounts each month for the products or brands that they include in each month's bag, but they also have separate deals for bundled products like this one and other brands. Again, I think they feature them in their monthly bags, but maybe sometimes it's just brands that happen to want to put a deal out through Ipsy where you can get a bargain for products you wouldn't otherwise be able to. So just something to keep in mind because Ipsy is definitely not the first place I think of when it comes to bargain shopping. All right, so now onto the lip exfoliant, the AquaReveal Smooth Talker Water Peel for Lips. Like I said, it retails for $26 and you get 0.12 fluid ounces. I really don't have a similar product to this to compare, price per fluid ounce or anything like that. So for what it does, it seems like a good deal. It's a really good lip exfoliant. So you guys might be aware there are those, like e.l.f. has those physical exfoliants that contain tiny beads or grains that manually slough off dead skin. There are also chemical exfoliants out there that rather than manually slough that off, eat away at basically the stuff that binds your dead skin cells together, so it basically dissolves and effectively melts away. That's like a really high level, not at all scientific way of putting it, but it's kind of the difference between a physical and a chemical exfoliator. I've never seen a chemical exfoliator for lips, so this was a first for me, and it looks and feels like water on the, well, not feels like water. It's a little bit of a thicker jelly consistency compared to water, but it is very, very thin, and a little goes a long way because it is so thin. So basically it comes in this pen format. You twist it up a little bit, apply directly to your lips, and then you rub it all in. The product doesn't sink into your skin, it definitely sits on top, but you'll see as you rub the product in that the dead skin literally rolls up and flakes away, like you just wipe it off. It's far more gratifying to me than a physical exfoliant because as I'm wiping those granules away, I have no idea how effective, my lips feel softer and smoother, but it could also be because of the emollients in that lip product, because a lot of them, those beads are suspended in an emollient that are going to make your lips feel soft and smooth anyway, even if the beads weren't in there. So it's really nice to see this and actually see the dead skin coming off, and then afterwards my lips look like plumper and more, because it gets the blood rushing there as you're rubbing around, they look just like more flushed and plump and so smooth. Something to keep in mind though after using it is because it doesn't come with an emollient in there, you are going to want to put a balm, probably one with an SPF on it, just to protect that newly revealed skin on your lips. Besides that though, highly effective lip exfoliator. Probably my favorite now at this point just because it is so easy and gratifying, and it's definitely going to come in handy now. Here we are going into fall and winter when your lips are only going to get drier. Now in theory this was the perfect product to pair with the two melting lip powders because in general before you apply a lip product, if you notice you have any flaky, scaly anything, any lip product is going to cling to that and could emphasize it more depending on the formula, so seemed like a natural pairing, especially something with a powder that in your mind at least is definitely going to be more dry. But as you'll see here, that's not necessarily the case. So now on to the melting lip powders. I have two shades here, as you can see, Red Cherry. Wearing this on my cheeks today, you'll see a demo of that as well as me applying it on my lips. And then I have Milk Choco. not chocolate, just Choco. And you'll see a demo of me applying this to my lips as well as my eyelids because they do say it's eye safe, so I tested it as an eye primer one day. And basically, as it sounds, inside, you can see a close-up here, this is straight up powder. You take it out, you have a doe foot applicator, it looks like powder kind of flies everywhere. It's not as messy as I thought it would be, but you do get some rogue powder flakes, you know, flying away all over the place. Then you go to apply it to your lips, and it literally, the second it hits your lips, turns into a very, very thin liquid. Wouldn't say a cream, it's not nearly that thick. It's a true, it literally melts into your lips, slightly cooling sensation, and then dries relatively quickly. You don't have a ton of time to work with it. I would say like 10 to 20 seconds before it totally dries down. As far as the mess factor goes, I'd say I'm pretty impressed with how low mess these were, given the fact that they are a loose powder in there, but the stopper in there really helps with that. Things get a little bit trickier as you go to apply them to your cheeks and eyes if you want to use alternative tools, because, you know, using the same doe foot that you use for your lips, not necessarily what you want to be putting next to your eyes, but the powder does present a little bit of a mess factor with that we'll talk about later. Let's first talk about how they were on the lips. These guys are drying as all get out, even though I had the lip exfoliator and I put a balm on top of that, because like I said, you just want a little bit something else to put that hydration, you know, back into your lips. These were like almost painfully dry. I first applied Milk Choco, and you can see it clung to those dry patches even after exfoliation, clung to them really, I mean, just a lot. It really emphasized them, and so I removed that immediately and then went back in with the red cherry. This, I'm not sure if it's because the color is so bold, but it really didn't emphasize in the same way that Milk Choco did. So I went about my day wearing that, but progressively, like within 1 to 2 hours, my lips were just like painfully dry, stinging, not like really hurt stinging, but certainly not comfortable. Just that feeling when you know you're about to have really dry, flaky, chapped lips, that stinging feeling, that's what I felt with this guy on. So do not count on it adding any extra nourishment to your lips, and know that if you do go to apply a balm or something else to kind of help with that hydration on afterward, it's definitely going to affect the wear time, because as a, you know, super thin water-based, almost a stain once it's onto your lips, it has a long wear time once it's on your lips, but that's only if you don't add any sort of gloss or something that's even mildly hydrating over top. So overall, not my favorite for the lips. Then I went to use Milk Choco, like I said, as an eye base. It applied really nicely and evenly. I applied it directly with the doe foot, used my finger to blend in. It did a pretty good job at just evening out the canvas of my eyes. I tend to have some discoloration with like veining showing through. I think we all do to some extent, so just to even that canvas out, I applied some of this guy. It took a couple layers to get, you know, uniform coverage across the eyelid, but once it was on, it wasn't drying. I didn't notice any itching, like no negative side effects of applying this stuff on my eye. It was pretty comfortable, and then I applied shadow over top. But I will say it didn't really act like an effective primer. I didn't prime underneath this. I wanted to see if this would do the job all on its own. You definitely need a primer in addition to this if you want this to act as a base that's going to keep your eyeshadow in place all day. I would say I am most pleased with this stuff as used on my cheeks. I applied red cherry to my cheeks, like I said, I'm wearing here today as well, and I find the best way to do that is, once again, to apply directly with the doe foot, dab, actually very light-handed, because this shade in particular is super pigmented. Apply a little bit to your cheeks. To be safe, you could even put it on your finger, rub your fingers together and do it like that, but the last thing you want to do is use a brush to go onto the doe foot, because that makes a huge mess. The powder flies everywhere, it gets on things, it doesn't come off of those things. It's just, don't do it. Take my word, don't do it. So once it's on there, go in with your fingers, really blend it out, and then, like I said, because it is so pigmented, every time I've done this, I've had to go in with my foundation brush just to dab over top of that, take some of that super high pigmentation out. But once it's on there, it really does last all day. So I know these are billed as a long-lasting matte lip tint, like #1. I would say cheek tint, it's a cheek tint at its finest. And one or a couple reasons, I guess, I would say you'd want something like this over traditional powder, or, you know, a gel or cream stain or anything like that is just because of the portability. If you're traveling, you don't want to worry about crushing a powder, you don't want to worry about a gel, you know, leaking everywhere, but you're still going to get incredible pigmentation. This shade in particular is going to be great for all skin tones because you can really build up the pigmentation here, and then you're going to get the lasting power. You also get the versatility, but I have to be really honest, I would not buy this counting on it being, you know, your go-to lip color because it's so uncomfortable when you wear it. I would really get this banking on it being your cheek color and calling it a day. You get 4 grams in each of these. It is a pretty good amount of product even though it is $16, so I think it would go slowly. You'd really get your money's worth, but just be aware if you're buying this as a multitasker, don't count on it as such. And that's it for me, guys. Kind of mixed reviews on this set, but hopefully you enjoyed learning more about some somewhat bizarre products out there in the beauty world, but ultimately turned out to be winners, especially this lip exfoliant. Hope you enjoyed that. I would love to know if you tried these. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Tell me all about it. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye, guys.